Hi, welcome to my page. Name's Infinite Sin. You can call me Bread. Everybody else does. What's up? A couple of years ago, I started a YouTube channel. It took off for a little while. It's been maintaining ever since. I have a wonderful community, and I react to BTS videos. If you're not into BTS, that's cool. That's not what this channel's about anyway. While on the momentum of my reaction channel, I got really into doing special effects and learning about them. So I picked up After Effects to get my intros together, do some things for streams, make some alerts, and overall just kind of get a general knowledge and flow of how to do things myself without having to spend money, because let's face it, things are expensive when you buy them online, and this work isn't easy, so it's validated. Moving on. As time went on, I started experimenting with small things. I started off in After Effects, started recreating things that I saw in real life, just trying to overall get the navigation down and learn how to draw and do things on a computer. Going from paper to digital is very difficult transition, and I already wasn't very good at the paper part. So I had my challenges ahead of me. I didn't stop though, and I kept learning as much as I could. With my can-do attitude, never wanting to give up, I never told myself no. I only told myself I needed to learn how to fix it. Which, let's be real, when you're working in this industry, that's pretty much all you're doing is fixing things. So I started talking to my friends, showing them my work, and they got interested in stuff. And when they started streaming, I started doing things for them too, which was a lot of fun because it gave me a chance to exercise what I did know and learn the things I didn't know. Had a couple commissions, did a couple projects for my channel, and in the end, with the way my mind soaks things up like a sponge, I ended up walking away with a lot of knowledge. And I'm still learning to this day. So this is going to be a small portfolio of the things that I've done in the last year and a half, from After Effects to Blender, doing stream intros, to doing 3D modeling, and a little bit of camera animation thrown in between. I'll be narrating through the whole time, so if you want, grab a snack, grab a drink, sit back, and let's go through some of the stuff I've done. As I said in the beginning, I was watching streamers and doing things for streamers. Some of them were commissions, and some of them they don't even know about yet because I haven't shown them the work. But we're going to go ahead and start with that. There's 4 main streamers that are going to be previewed in this demo reel, the first of which is going to be Chillin' Chance. Chillin' Chance is a variety streamer. He likes to stream racing games, MMORPGs, he does just chatting sessions, and he's a great community interactive streamer. This is his logo. I asked him a few questions, he gave me some materials. He wanted some waves masked out in his logo so that the waves would look like they were in the logo. Just something to church it up a little bit. And I went an extra step further and made him a 3D logo. So this is the example of that. It came out pretty good. For a beginner, I was really thrilled with it and very excited. And so was he. He enjoyed it very much, and it ended up getting him into doing his own CGI design, and he came up with his own stuff, which looks really good. I'm really proud of him, and he's still a really good friend. I talk to him every day. Next is another streamer called Guardians of Yuna. I went to high school with Guardians of Yuna, and we were best friends all throughout high school. He was there for me in rough times, and we were always like brothers. So when he started streaming and getting into things, he asked me if I could do a few things for him, and so I said sure, no problem. I ended up jumping on his team of people, and I do stuff for them when they need it. I also do stuff for them when they don't need it, and you'll see a little bit of work here, but I'm gonna show you more work later on. Next up is Lysina Phoenix. She's got a great stream, great community. She plays a lot of first-person shooters, and she also does a little bit of Final Fantasy. Her community is very interactive, and she's a very sweet person with a big heart. She's worked in correspondence with Respawn in the past, and I wish nothing but the best for her. She reached out to me asking if I could put together a compilation, and I was more than happy to do it, and so here's a few shots from that. I watched another streamer called American Dad, and although I love him, he's not for everybody, so view at your own discretion. He's a great guy though, and his streams are always really fun. Man has 2 cats who are part of the family and the community, and chat adores them. And I thought, hey, it'd be cool to do some art of his cats. At the time, he only had 1, so I really only have the pictures of the 1, but I took a picture of his cat that he had posted on social media, and I just kind of decided, hey, let's do some cartoony things. He doesn't have a GIF for his chat, so why don't I make one? So I decided to make one, and this is how it turned out. The next thing I thought was like, well, what if I went a step further and did a little bit of artistic expression and turned his cat into a ninja? So I did that, and it came out really good. I also have some other stuff done for him, but it's not work appropriate, so we have to kind of keep it out of this for now. those things were done on After Effects, and I got really into that, and I was thinking, you know, maybe I could make my own project for my own self on my YouTube channel. I thought about it, a little more oriented towards what I was focused on, which is BTS stuff for that channel. And so my very first attempt at 3D project, fully from the ground up, I made this. The premise for this video is basically these two emblems flying through space, making their way to Earth to bring the world the music of the group. It's really just an expression of me figuring out what I could do with the video and the programs, and just kind of playing with it and seeing how much I could do before I finally just burnt out and came to an overall general end. It emphasizes a little bit of storytelling, not much storytelling. You're really focused on the graphics, but in the end, it's got a story that's going to come along with it. And I'm actually going to touch base on a project with this later on in this year, but right now it's not really important. This is just kind of an example of where I could go when I just said, let's just do it and click buttons and see where we end up. Interestingly enough, this is one of my proudest projects. It's also the very first project I ever did on my own. But my thought process was like, if I could use the same things that Pixar uses, maybe I could make better stuff. And after looking on YouTube and realizing that some of the things that came out of Blender were very, very good and far beyond the visual quality that I had been presenting. So I was like, you know what? I learned After Effects by myself. I'm going to learn Blender by myself. And so hop on YouTube, start doing a million tutorials, building things, following along, learning the navigation and the UI. And then eventually I got started. So start off with Blender Guru. We did donuts and coffee cups and donuts. It was tedious. It took me all night just to learn how to do everything while following along with the video, but I was a beginner and time is really of no essence when you're a beginner. Just sit there, absorb it, and you can move forward after that. After I got done with that, I was pretty confident in my ability. The very first project I ever done on Blender came out looking great. So what do I do after I do donuts? The hardest thing I can possibly think of. Something from my mind, completely made up. You could use general base models if you want, but let's create something that's mine. Let me think of something that I can do where I'm challenged the entire time. I'm cussing, I'm slamming my desk, binge eating through things, trying to get through my frustrations, and overall just generally hating life and getting carpal tunnel syndrome. The next thing I wanted to start learning was how to do shaders and particles. One of the more difficult things I've always had trouble with was particle systems. They're very difficult, they run heavy on your computer, and I just didn't understand it. So I had to focus on making things burn in order to understand how to do actual fire, because who doesn't like fire? And if you can create it digitally, you can do other massive destructive things. so I learned fire and had a thought process which I'll incorporate at some point in my life, but it's not today. And this is how my experimentation with fire came about, with meteors and comets and things falling from the sky. I really like the idea of bringing 2D drawings into a 3D space. One of the things that I thought to myself, how good can I make an object that's been drawn on paper or taken from a picture look in a 3D space? So I got started with my buddy's logo. He tends to be the general neutral zone, the launch spot for me when I start working on things, or I have an idea and I want to learn how to do it. I will go to my buddy's brand and I will try to do it to the brand, because if it comes out great, then it can be used for more than one person, but if it doesn't, then nobody has to know. I've already got all the logos and stuff saved on my computer, so it's just easy for me to do. Start with the small stuff. Let's take a look at his logo. This is the Guardians of logo, and I was like, well, where do I start? Well, let's just draw the object as a whole. That didn't turn out well, so we're not going to include it in this. I was like, well, let's make the parts. So I started making the parts. I created the axe, I created the diamonds and the jewels and the shield, and just overall thinking, how can I bring this all complete into one space? And these are a couple videos of me going through the leaves and pictures of me crafting the axe and being just overall full of myself and proud of my work at the time. In which case it all culminated into a video, which I will include at the end of this. And I was very, very happy with it. Now, it's probably not going to get used very often because they do their own thing, but I was just doing it to learn, and it inspired me to start learning character creation, because my mind is just in this universe, like this medieval Viking universe. So now I need to create characters. So I started creating characters, and the very first thing you do when you create a character is you want to learn how to create yourself. So I started working on that. Now, sculpting was hard enough, but I eventually got the hang of it and came up with a rough draft. First one was really bad, but the next one wasn't too bad. And then I mixed a little bit of hair particle system in there as well. And then I thought, okay, well, side by side, these all look good. And it's like, well, how do you create a realistic version of yourself? And the long and short of it is there's a long way and there's a short way. And I did the short way and was really impressed. And I thought, if this could be the end goal to what I'm trying to learn, then I'm just that much more motivated now. So here's a side by side of those three, which brings me to the end of the video where I establish what this channel is going to be about. I'm not quite sure what I want to do with this channel. More or less, I'm just here to learn and pick things up from people. And if I come across any interesting techniques or do any interesting projects, this will be where I post it. I wouldn't mind collaborating with anybody. If anybody has a project or doesn't know something, I'd be more than willing to help out. And I'm more than willing to do something with someone else if they need it. The ultimate goal of this video is just to have something to present to people when they want to know what it is that I do or what I've been doing, and hopefully it's, you know, acceptable enough to possibly get some work or work with people, because doing this alone is hard. And in the end of it, I would like to pursue a career with this type of thing, and in the end I've got a long way to go to get to where I want to be, and hopefully I can find help through a network of people to get me where I want to go and possibly help others in the process. So that's gonna do it for me. I hope you guys enjoyed this little montage of the things that I've done over the last year and a half. I say year and a half, it's been about a year and a half. But I hope you have a wonderful day and enjoy the things to come. Please be nice in the comments. That's all I ask. This is kind of me put my toe in the water here. I'll see you guys in the next video. Stay safe, stay healthy, and I'll check you guys later. Oh yeah, the video. This is the last project I just finished. I hope you guys enjoy.
What is up, Guardians of Uno?
Guardians of Uno?
Hey, what's up, Guardians of Uno? We are live